Hey folks, and welcome back to Glenn and Adrian's Rock Talk. That's Adrian.
And that's Glenn.
And today we're going to go back to the 90s one more time, and this time we're going to check out Nirvana, and we're going to check out one of the performances from their Unplugged at MTV appearance, and it's Where Did You Sleep Last Night? Now, initially, we weren't going to do the Nirvana version because I figured everybody's heard it, but now it turns out Adrian hasn't even heard the Nirvana version. So we're going to do that, and we may come back later and go to the version that actually influenced Nirvana to do it in the first place. And I don't mean Leadbelly's version. It's actually one that came out just a few years earlier that Kurt also worked on. So, but we'll get to that at a future time. So Nirvana's version was recorded November 1993, of course, for MTV. They had it on an in-studio audience. This is probably nothing that any of you don't already know if you're familiar with Nirvana. This is one of the better performances that wasn't actually on an album. A lot of people consider this one of his best performances. It's actually a Leadbelly song, so it's been around for a long time. It also went by In the Pines. I've actually got a Leadbelly album with the song on it, which is interesting. So with that, why don't we go ahead and take a look at this? And remember, of course, Dave Grohl, later of the Foo Fighters, is on drums. He looks a lot different these days, still very active. Bass player Krist Noveselic is more of a politician these days, I believe. I think he ran for mayor or something. He's got a political career, I think, that he was trying to get started. I'm not sure where that is. I didn't really pay attention, but he's kind of not really in music anymore, except for the occasional, offbeat project. And Pat Smear from the Germs is also there, backing them up. And then they also, one of their friends, a cellist, I should know her name. I'll mention it later.
They're famous for a while. I was somewhat into them. I continued to listen to them after, for a long time, actually.
I can tell you that I listened to them when they were a band and for a few years after. Then I put them aside for about 20 years. And I've come back to them in recent times, realizing there is some substance there. They're not necessarily something I listen to all the time, but I can understand why they're still well known today. It's still a big band. So, okay. So with that, let's check them out playing acoustic, Leadbelly.
My girl, don't lie to me. Tell me, when did you sleep last night? In the pines, where the sun don't ever shine, I would shiver the whole night through. Girl, my girl, where will you go? I'm going where the cold wind blows. In the pines, where the sun don't ever shine, I would shiver the whole night through. Her husband was a hard-working man, just about a mile from here. His head was found in a driving wheel, but his body never was found. My girl, don't lie to me. Tell me, where did you sleep last night? In the pines, where the sun don't ever shine, I would shiver the whole night through. I'm going where the cold wind blows. In the pines where the sun don't ever shine, I would shiver the whole night through. My girl, don't lie to me. Tell me, where did you sleep last night? In the pines where the sun don't ever shine, I would shiver the whole night through. My girl, where will you go? I'm going where the cold wind blows. In the pines, sun, the shine, I shiver. Oh, night through. Thank you.
All right.
All right.
Well, I've heard that song before.
Oh, you have?
Yeah, I didn't remember the lyrics, but I remember the music
Yeah.
very clearly. I don't know if I heard Nirvana's version or Leadbelly's version. I've heard the song before. I recognize the riff anyway, the
Mhm.
music.
Gee, I wonder if you had heard the one that I was thinking about doing. So there's a little more I can share about this track. We've been covering some Screaming Trees, as you know, and Mark Lanegan, their lead vocalist, was very good friends with Kurt. In fact, Kurt approached him as a kind of a super fan of the Screaming Trees, gave him his number and like, call me up anytime you want to do something, he was saying to Mark. And so they did eventually try to work on something, but they became really great friends is really what happened. But they were going to try to put together an album of Leadbelly covers. And when they got into the studio, they realized neither one of them really wanted to push the other and be the leader, of and say what's going to go down and all that. Kurt, I guess, was just kind of keeping hands off out of reverence for Mark. And Mark's like, well, this guy's a genius. I need his input, So nothing really happened there. However, when Mark's first solo album came out called The Winding Sheet in 1990, also on Sub Pop, there is a cover of this very song, and the both of them are on it. And so is Chris, the bass player. It's a little bit different. It's a little more electrified,
Yeah.
But, and I would say this is probably the better version overall, but that was the origin of this song. And as a matter of fact, Dave Grohl has said that The Winding Sheet, Mark's first album, really played a highly influential role on Nirvana's whole MTV Unplugged appearance. So just a little tidbit there. Kind of people knowing each other in Seattle, and coming up with ideas. So I've always enjoyed this track. I was a little surprised that maybe you hadn't heard it. But, it sounds like you have. Maybe you haven't seen the clip before, though. Is that right?
No, I haven't seen the clip. I don't remember seeing it anyway. I might have seen that at one point, but I just don't remember where I heard the song before. But music, I definitely remember the music.
Yeah, and it's worth noting. I mean, we generally didn't have MTV wherever we were for a while. I don't think I had cable TV really until the 2000s or something.
Same here.
Yeah, so that maybe that's part of it. Anyway, it would have been interesting to see what happened next with Nirvana. I kind of wonder if they would have continued in the same direction. I think Kurt was getting a little sick of the direction they were taking at this point and was kind of hoping to quiet it down, maybe have different instrumentation. Of course, none of that went over well with the band. Anyway, that's for the biographers to tell us about, because there's plenty of books out now about Nirvana. They've been pretty well covered. But I'm glad we got a chance to look at this so you could see what I'm talking about. And we probably still will cover the other track, the Mark and Kurt track, from a few years earlier at some point in the future.
I like the song. I'm surprised I didn't remember it until I heard it. I certainly didn't remember the lyrics. I just remembered the tune. Yeah,
there's some really good gems in those old rural blues, those blues performers. There's so many. Leadbelly, Robert Johnson, Blind Lemon Jefferson, Mississippi John Hurt. Anyway, we could sit here forever. Skip James. And of course the Muddy Waters you can't go without. Anyway, with that, I think we're going to wrap this. Anybody out there that actually saw Nirvana, tell us about it. We'd love to hear about that. I never did get a chance to see them. I kind of became a fan late, and then I didn't have the opportunity to see them. So kind of the way it goes. But we'd love to hear your experience. If you have any other songs you might want us to take a look at from Nirvana, let us know. If you enjoyed this video, please give us a like. And if you enjoy our presentation, please subscribe. Okay, with that, I think we'll catch you next time. All right, take care, folks.
See y'all later.